been a while since Auburn's beaten Georgia. I know you haven't. How much does that kind of motivate you guys going into this game?
Yeah, it's a huge motivation. The importance of these rivalry games in the SEC kind of speaks for themselves. Especially if you go to an away stadium, you can feel. We talked about it earlier. I mean, it's us 80-something guys versus 90,000 or whatever. So I think it's one of those things that you kind of walk into with a chip on your shoulder. It's something that, I mean, this rivalry means a lot to a lot of people, and it's the Deep South's oldest rivalry. There's a lot of history there. So, yeah, for us to not have beaten them since I've been here, it's something that I definitely want to get accomplished. It's one of those games that you look at before the year and you're like, okay, I'm ready to play that game. So I think our guys are going to be really, really motivated and excited to face one of the best teams in the country.
How much it will take from the fact that y'all had them on the ropes and, that was a close game all the way to the very end with them last season. How much y'all take from that?
Yeah, I think we'll take a lot from it, just like we'll take away what we've taken away from a couple of these games this year that we've let slip away. We've been there. You can hang with any team in the country if you play the way that we've been playing, minus a few mistakes. So if we get those cleaned up, we bring the same intensity and preparation that we brought last year and last week and some of those things against these really good football teams. I think we'll definitely use that to our advantage. And like I said, just get excited for a huge rivalry game. I mean, if you have to get extra motivated for a game like this, then there's something probably wrong with you, because it's a pretty big game.
It's going to be the first time on the road for a lot of the young guys on this team. Just as somebody who's kind of been through it for a while, what do you tell them, about going into this kind of atmosphere for the first time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just poise, because I think everyone in their life in college football as a football player has one of those moments where, okay, we're not being cheered on anymore. I can't hear the quarterback anymore. I can't hear the linebacker telling me which way we're slanting or this and that. So communication is tough, and sometimes that brings a few mistakes. The key is not being able to flush it and not having it snowball. Because sometimes you see here when we're playing in Jordan-Hare, opposing teams, they'll get a false start, and then the next play, okay, the guard will step the wrong way. It kind of piggybacks off each other. So I think when a mistake is made, just don't blink, play the next play, and just kind of keep poised through those mistakes.
Luke, other than not turning the ball over and Peyton had a mistake, but other than that, what were some of the factors you guys point to from the Oklahoma game that offense was moving better, passing game was more explosive? What do you kind of attribute that to?
Yeah, I think statistically, like we were talking about, I mean, we fared pretty well. So I think our game plan was great. I think we were moving the ball. I think situationally, we just have to be a little better as a team. And I know people oftentimes will look at the coaches. Coaches always take ownership in that too on our Monday meetings, but as players, we have to take ownership too and executing certain things that we know that we can do. So I think just late in the game, being able to execute a little better, I think that's something that us as players, we can hold responsibility for. And hopefully if we make a couple less mistakes, then we win that game. We win a couple games this year. But the biggest thing now is for those mistakes to not let them repeat themselves. I mean, coaches always say, it's kind of cliche, you say, make new mistakes, don't make the same mistakes. You're going to always make mistakes, but making the same ones, that's what can really kill you. So hopefully we're going to make new mistakes and learn from these old ones and get better and grow as a team.
Nobody's really run for much on Oklahoma until y'all last week, and y'all were able to move the ball pretty favorably. Y'all have just kind of the mentality that y'all can run the ball against any defense if you're clicking?
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of have that swagger, that mentality that we can go up against anybody in the country. I mean, Oklahoma's a great defense. Coach Venables is a great coach. Always had a solid defense wherever he's been. And that just kind of shows you that, one, we believe in ourselves, and two, we know what's in this room. Like, we know what's in this locker room. We've got guys that can go out there and physically down block on defensive linemen. We've got receivers that block on the edge. We've got running backs, obviously, that can hit the hole and do special things like 2-7 and 0. I mean, we've got the pieces. We've shown that we can be productive. I think the biggest thing is just finishing games with limiting some mistakes that we've had the past couple weeks.
Luke, are you asking for more routes and targets after that touchdown on Saturday?
No. It was a special thing. I've talked to a couple of you guys already. Being able to do that in front of the student section and in front of my family, it was a big game, and it was a game where they recognized my dad passing from ALS. It was a pretty special moment for me. So very excited that happened. It was a moment that I won't forget. But at the end of the day, us tight ends, me specifically, in my opinion, our role is to do whatever the team needs. My role is to do whatever the team needs, and if the team needs me to score a touchdown, they need me to score a touchdown. If they need me to play every special team, it's play every special team. If they need me to play as an extra tackle, I'll do that too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever gets this team to win and be successful and feel what success feels like in the locker room after, whatever's asked of you, that's kind of what we're asked to do as tight ends and what I think my role is on this team.
Have you tried to show your son the play?
Yeah. So my wife actually, she had me fooled for a little bit and said that he was watching, but I found out later that he was asleep. So I'm gonna have to show him down the road. He's sleeping a lot right now, but I'll have to catch him up on that maybe down the road. He'll probably think it's just his dad. He probably won't think it's that cool down the road, but we'll see.
How impressed are you with what Keandre has been able to do in this offense as a dude who just got here in the
Yeah.
summer and the numbers he's putting up?
He's so explosive, man. I mean, you guys see it. We talk about, I know Coach Freeze talks about the explosive plays and how many we're having and how it hasn't really translated to wins, but we've got those plays, and he's a big part of that. He's an explosive guy, runs great routes. He makes things happen whenever he's in the game. So I think it gives our receiver room confidence, it gives our offense confidence, and it gives our quarterbacks confidence too, that they've got guys that can make those plays like that. It's when you have guys on the outside, you can run the football, because whenever you don't, they stack the box and you can't run the football. So not only what he can do as a player, but as a threat for other defenses, man, it opens up a lot of things to make us a more balanced offense.
How are dad duties going?
Pretty good. I tell everybody all the time, man, I have the best wife in the world. I really do. Everybody's like, oh man, the sleepless nights, how's that going? I'm like, you know what? I'm actually sleeping pretty good. So, but she takes care of me. She takes care of him, and she's, I wouldn't be anywhere without her. So, but being a dad, going home after a loss, I was talking with somebody earlier. I was saying, I have a different perspective now after a loss. I used to go home, lock myself in a room, don't talk to anybody. Now, I've got to flush that. I've got to let that loss be that loss and don't lose in life as a dad, as a husband. I've got to kind of drain that out because one of my old coaches actually recently told me, he was like, you know what, CJ doesn't know whether you won or lost, and he doesn't care, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, just try to be the best father, the best husband I can be, and while I'm here, be the best teammate I can be. That's really my calling, my job, and hopefully I can do that pretty well in the next couple of weeks, and we can see some success on the field.
You're all good?
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, guys.